Hey everybody, it's Matt here, and it's been a couple of days since I've done a video, but I wanted to get this out to you today because we have the holiday season coming up. I want to talk to you today about how to survive the tough times. Yeah, we're going to talk about surviving the tough times. And here's why I want to share this topic with you. At the time of this recording, it is Wednesday. Next week will be Thanksgiving. For many of you, talking to you, you're taking next week off, or you are working 1 or 2 days. And Thanksgiving is one of the great American holidays next to 4th of July. In fact, it is my favorite holiday, it's in favorite American holiday, favorite holiday overall, and I'm Irish, so that includes St. Patrick's Day. But anyway, the thing is that we're getting ready to enter into a season where things can get a little slow. Now, having owned 4 clinics, I've experienced the holiday lull. As we used to say, it's pretty hard to compete against the fat man. That fat man is Santa. It is not your neighbor. I am not being, I'm not trying to be mean to people who are slightly overweight. But in all seriousness, I want to talk to you today about how to survive the tough times. Now, I've been through many, many, many tough times. You can see the gray hair and the gray in the beard will tell you that I've been through a few things in this 52. I've seen 1 or 2 things. Some of the things that I have kind of survived is, many of you know, I lost my father when I was very young, at the age of 13, watching a baseball game, sitting next to him. That'll change your life pretty quick. That'll change your perspective on a few things. I survived barely by the skin of my teeth the Great Recession. I had a real estate investment company, and that went plowy. I had 3 of them. I have survived challenging business partners. I've survived Department of Labor investigations, that were frivolous. I've had a key controller embezzle money from me. Been through it all. And so I want to share with you what I've done to be able to survive the tough times. And for many of you that I've talked to, and I've talked to quite a bit of you this month, you want to do something, you want to make this a better year coming up, but you're afraid. And I can tell you that operating from a place of fear is one of the worst places that you can operate from. So here's what I've done to survive tough times. And again, I've been through some real humdingers. So let's dive in. Okay, so the first one that I want to tell you about is stay neutral. Now, what the hell does that mean? I do not prescribe to what is known as the power of positive thinking. And let me explain. I used to. I've read Norman Vincent Peale's books, and I have a pretty positive outlook in life. I guess you have to as an entrepreneur. But one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is I watch a lot of football, a lot of college football. And I love college football because, you have these young kids who just operate and they play at such an incredibly high level. And one of the things that I've noticed about college quarterbacks, and this is why I watch college over the pros, is because the pros, you expect them to be a certain way. With the college players, you don't. These are 18, 19-year-old kids. And I'm a big LSU fan. Go Tigers. But I'm also fascinated by the work that Nick Saban does. So I read pretty much everything that Nick Saban puts out, or Bill Belichick. And they have this way about them that they stay constantly neutral. If you look at the quarterbacks, they stay constantly neutral. Look at Tom Brady. Look at Tua Tagovailoa. Look at all the quarterbacks that have come through Alabama. Look at they don't get frazzled. They get hit. They get a 10-yard sack. They pick up the ball. They look for the sideline. They're moving forward. So I would tell you that be neutral. Nothing is ever good and nothing is ever bad. I've actually done an audio on this. I'm more than happy to send it out to you if you request it, or you can Google my name and type in the phrase, "What if it's all a blessing?" And on that, I actually tell stories of some of the things that I've had to go through in life and how they really at the time that I saw that they were horrible things, they actually wound up becoming huge benefits to me. And so I take this position of just stay neutral. Nothing is good. Nothing is bad. It just is. Okay. So that's the first one. Don't, if you have a bad day, don't worry about it. If you have a bad week, don't worry about it. What's the worst thing that happens? You shut down the clinic and you go work locums. I mean, is that the absolute worst thing that happens? Maybe your spouse leaves you. Is that the absolute worst thing that can happen? There's a lot worse things that can happen. I got plenty of people I can have you talk to. So just stay neutral. The second thing is the other big mistake I see people making, and I've done this, I've been guilty of this, is you make your world smaller, not bigger. Okay. So when I go through difficult times, I've noticed my tendency is I want to go in. I want to control things more, right? I want to get rid of that person. I want to get rid of this person. I'm going to get it done and I'm going to do it right myself. And if you find yourself saying if you want to get something done correctly, you have to do it yourself, that is, as Zig Ziglar likes to say, is some stinking thinking. Okay. So make your world bigger. What do I mean by that? Well, what you want to do is, and I'm going to give you a list of books that I like to read. I have a couple of books that I read constantly. One of them is Psycho-Cybernetics. The other is I read the Bible on a regular basis. You can have an opinion about that if you don't want. I don't care. If you want to have an opinion, doesn't matter to me. But it is one heck of a great book to read. And then, I mean, go read the Psalms of David. Now, there was a guy who had a crap show in his life. Some of it is his own doing. But anyway, go, get around other people, get around people that are thinking big. I mean, take a look at, do you have people in your life that are negative? Get rid of them. I grew up in a very negative environment, a very negative household. And it's taken me a long time to learn how to get rid of the negative people in my life. And I'll tell you what, life is a lot better when you get rid of negative people. So make your world bigger. Okay. Don't get smaller. Make your world bigger. Find somebody that you can work with or talk to on a regular basis who can lift you up, who believes in you, that can be there for you. The next thing is 3 victories a day. Okay. Now, I'm a big believer of journaling. I journal just about every day. I have tons of these things. I carry this with me wherever I go. I use a moleskin. You don't have to use anything this complex or that expensive. You can get one for $1 at the dollar store if you want a journal. And so what I would say is, so when things were really hitting the fan for me a few years ago, my longtime mentor, Rob Berkeley, encouraged me to just say, look, at the end of every single day, I want you to write down 3 victories. Matt, it could be you had enough money to put gas in the car. It could be that, you didn't get shut down today. They didn't turn the power off today. Like these were some of the, these are some of the things. It can be little things because we have a tendency to look at everything that can go wrong. And I find that doctors are kind of that times 10. You are paid to look at what everything can go wrong. You are trained and paid to look at every bad scenario. That's what you do, right? And so you've got to look for 3 victories each and every single day. It might be that you booked an appointment. It might be that you made a sale. But come up with 3. It might be that there was no traffic going home. It might be that when you got home, your wife or your spouse smiled. Whatever those 3 are, at the end of every single day, I want you to write down 3 victories, okay? Or you can write down 3 things that you are grateful for. Every single morning, I write what I am grateful for. And sometimes it's the same thing over and over again. It's, I get to live with Katie, or I have this gorgeous house now, or my dog Mulligan loves me, or whatever it is, right? It can be as simple as that, okay? Next, he's going to probably come over right now. You might get a chance to see him. The other thing is you become what you think about most of the time. So let me give you an example of this. Your mind is an incredibly powerful thing. I won't go into this in detail because it talks about the servo mechanism and your belief systems and all of this, but your brain is a massive computer, and whatever you think on actually has more tendency to become true. And so I want you to think about great professional athletes, right? So let's, Katie's young son, 16-year-old son, Jack, lives with us. And he's with us every other week. And he's a typical 16-year-old boy full of angst and things like that. Great kid, wonderful kid, love him dearly. And we talk about this all the time. He's a big basketball fan, loves LeBron. And he was trying to accomplish a goal, and he was having some negative thoughts. And I kind of got out on one night, and I said, hey, look, man, I got a question for you. How do you think LeBron approaches a challenge? And he kind of stood there, and you could tell he wanted to kind of like blow it off, but he started thinking. I go, I'm going to tell you right now, LeBron doesn't envision finishing last. Every season, LeBron envisions winning the championship. Every single season, he envisions it. I bet you Michael Jordan does, even though the Hornets suck, okay? I will tell you that every great performer I know spends more of their time thinking about what they want versus what they don't want. They think more about the positive things or more beneficial things in the life that are going on than they do think about all the negative things that are going on. So you become what you think about most of the time. Earl Nightingale I believe, coined that phrase, another one of my favorite people to listen to when things are down. But you really want to give that I really want you to focus on what you're doing. So when I was going through my divorce and I was going through some transition things and my mom had passed away and all that fun stuff, I found myself spending a lot of time with a lot of anger and frustration about things that didn't go right. And one morning in the shower, I just decided enough. And I know this stuff. I've been doing this stuff for 25 plus years. And I finally decided, you know what, just going to become what I think about most of the time. And so I started envisioning myself, a better life for myself. Somebody who moved forward from a divorce and from all of these other things that whatever else I've had to go through in life. And so you become what you think about most of the time. So what are you thinking about? I would also recommend that you journal what you were thinking about. And if you find that there are negative thoughts, turn those negative thoughts into positives. Okay. Don't always think about things not going well. Don't always think about, oh my God, I have to shut this down, or I'm not going to make it. Da 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 da. Ask different questions. How can I find a way out of this? Show me a way. Okay. So here are some of my favorite resources. I want to give those to you. These are some of my favorite books. I mentioned them. I'll tell you right now, the Bible has probably been one of the most influential, if not the most influential book in my life. In today's day and age, you're not supposed to talk about those kind of things, but I really don't care. So it is who I am. And I would tell you, read the Psalms, read the story of David. And if you have a issue with if there is a God or not, or it's religiosity, I would tell you to go out and just get something like The Message and read like a book. The story of David is a great story. The second thing is go get the book Psycho-Cybernetics. It is written by Maxwell Maltz. Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and he talks about changing your inner self, your belief system. Talks about your servo mechanism. It's also a great audiobook. It is something that I listen to on a regular basis. It is probably one of the most second most influential book in my life, next to the Bible. The third one is Earl Nightingale. So Earl Nightingale was the founder of Nightingale Conant. This was like the first audio series that I ever listened to. It's called Lead the Field. Yeah, Lead the Field, I believe. And it talks about that you become what you think about most of the time. And so you can get it on iTunes, I think, for like $3. The quality of the audio is kind of sketchy. There's no book, but I listen to it constantly. And then the last thing is read biographies. I love reading biographies. Some of my favorites are Andre Agassi. I love the biography of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fascinating reading, man. Highly, highly recommend it. And those are just kind of the ones that jump out at me. I always have a couple of books going at one time. I've got this going right now. I have How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. But here's the thing. Maybe this year was better than you anticipated, and you're actually excited about the holiday season because you feel like you can actually celebrate it. Or maybe this year was neutral, or maybe it was worse than last year, and you feel like you're not making any progress, or you feel like you're not reaching your goals. You feel like you're not reaching your dreams. I have been there, and I would encourage you today to keep fighting forward. Okay. Open up your circle of, make a bigger circle of things that you are reading. Stay neutral. Make your world bigger, not smaller. Look for 3 victories and 3 positive things that happen to you each and every single day. Remember, you are what you become and think about you become what you think about most of the time. And then just the last thing, couple of other things, is make sure you're getting lots of sleep, 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I know that's hard when you're really stressed out. Lay off the booze, lay off the wine. Most doctors I know don't drink much. And go for long walks. That's probably the most therapeutic thing and wonderful thing. In fact, after I finish this, I am going to go take a walk, believe it or not, in the middle of the day. One of my favorite things to do. All right, that's what I have for you. So that's all I got. No, you know how to get in touch with me if you want to talk more, and I'm here for you. Look, here's the thing. I believe in you. I may not even know who you are, but I believe in you. Okay, and that's where it's got to start. I am here to be your champion. You know how I feel. I believe that doctors have been absolutely and utterly screwed. I believe that you all are taken for granted in society, and it's about darn time that you have someone who's a champion. Let's go throw some rocks at the establishment, and let's Let's go help you build something that is multi-generational and gives you the respect that you and the money that you deserve to make. That's it. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.